do you know if a pair of XR glasses are actually any good? Well, it's probably not what you'd think. XR glasses have gotten really good over the past few years. They're brighter, they're sharper, and they work with a lot more devices than they used to. But the thing that makes or breaks a pair isn't just the display. It's whether you actually want to keep them on your face. Because if they're pinching your nose after 20 minutes, or you're tilting your head around trying to find that one angle where the picture looks sharp, then obviously the spec sheet stops mattering. You're just gonna take them off. Today, we're looking at VITURE's newest pair, the VITURE Pro 2, and their new mobile dock mini. After spending some time with both, I think VITURE went after the least glamorous problem in XR, which is also the one that decides whether you keep using these things at all. But before we get started, I wanted to let you know that this video is sponsored by VITURE. Let's take a look at the new VITURE Pro 2 XR glasses and mobile dock mini, and some of the features and design choices that make them unique. So VITURE is turning 5 this year, and they're making it with 2 new products. The first up are the VITURE Pro 2 XR glasses. Then there's the mobile dock mini, which is built mostly for portable gaming, so think Nintendo Switch 2, but it also works with compatible USB-C phones and handhelds like the Steam Deck and the ROG Ally. So these are 2 separate products, obviously, but they're really designed to work together. One gives you the private big screen, and the other one makes it a little easier to take that screen with you. It's a pretty cool combo. So let's start with the thing I noticed first, and it had nothing to do with the picture. It was the weight. These come in just over 2 ounces, which is 20% lighter than the previous model. VITURE also made the frames 16% thinner, so they look a little bit more like a normal pair of sunglasses, and more importantly, they stay comfortable through a full movie instead of turning into something you're counting down the minutes on. Fit helps a lot there too. You get 3 nose pads. 2 of them adjust 3 different ways, so you've got 7 different fit options to work with. And the arms adjust as well. And honestly, I didn't really think about this going in. All of the adjustment is about your viewing angle. So once you get it dialed in, the screen sits exactly where you want it, and you're seeing the whole thing perfectly. That part's actually pretty cool. Now the display, VITURE calls this one UltraClarity 3.0. And instead of chasing one big headline number, the goal here is to make the whole image hold together. And that's the part I noticed. Normally, there's one narrow sweet spot where things look crisp and everything toward the edges goes a little soft. So you end up aiming your eyes at the center of the screen all night. Not with these, it stayed sharp across the whole frame. Movies, games, it didn't matter where I was looking. Switch games in particular looked absolutely amazing, like super sharp all the way across the screen. And that's where you really see what UltraClarity is all about. You're getting a 146-inch virtual screen and Sony micro OLED panels handling the color. It also hits up to 1600 nits. And brightness matters more than you'd think here because you're still seeing through these. The more light in the room, the more the picture has to compete with it. And those are really good numbers. But the thing I'd actually give it credit for is that I stopped thinking about the display and just focused on what I was watching or playing. Now, this next one might be my favorite thing on here, and it's aimed right at anybody who wears glasses. So normally, if you need vision correction, like a pair of glasses, using a pair of XR glasses means putting in contacts first, or ordering a prescription lens insert, or tracking down some clip-on adapter you swore you put back in the case and lost. The Pro 2 skips all of that. There's a small focus dial built into each side of the frame, and you just turn them until the picture is sharp for your eyes. That's a built-in diopter that covers 0 to -5 adjustment, which will work for most people. That's a setup that is super quick. And handing them to someone else isn't a whole production anymore because they just turn the dials for their own eyes and they're off to the races. I love that. VITURE also says the Pro 2 is SGS Eye Care certified for low blue light and flicker-free performance, which should help with eye fatigue on longer viewing sessions. All right, so great glasses are only half of it. You still have to connect them to something, and that is especially true if portable gaming is one of your main cases. So let's get into the Mobile Dock Mini. It's 34% smaller and 30% lighter than VITURE's previous dock with a 10,000 milliamp hour battery inside. Definitely small enough for a backpack, small enough for a pocket, like back pocket small. It's built for the Switch family, including the Switch 2 with a magnetic mount that's about as thin as a credit card and snaps right into the console. That's a pretty convenient detail. And it does pass through charging, so you stay powered up while you play. So with a Switch or a Switch 2, you can run what VITURE calls hug mode, and the dock stays attached to the console. The console plugs into one port, your glasses plug into another, and that built-in battery powers both of them while you play. But the dock isn't only for Switch duty. You can pop the adapter off and run solo mode, which is a lighter setup for a compatible USB-C phone or another handheld. Either way, that pass-through charging means the movie ends when you're ready for it and not when your battery gives out, which is kind of the whole point. Spend a little time with these and VITURE's goal gets pretty clear. They want a big screen you can take anywhere without it turning into a whole production. Now, building another giant virtual display is kind of the easy part at this point. Everybody's doing that. Making one that's comfortable enough that you actually want to wear it for 2 hours is the harder thing to do. So what do you actually use this for? Maybe that's a movie to unwind after work. Maybe it's a gaming session that doesn't take over the living room TV, or a much bigger screen that comes with you on the flight, which is what I'm most excited about. And at some point, it's gonna stop feeling like a gadget you have to set up and start being a screen you just reach for. When I think about it, these two are solving different halves of the same problem. The Pro 2 is built around wearing these for a while between the lighter frame, the built-in diopter dials, and clarity that holds up out to the edges. The Mobile Dock Mini handles the other half of it, which is getting all of it out the door with you. Put them together and you've got a really cool big screen setup that you can throw in a bag and stays comfortable well past the point where most of these come off. The Pro 2 is $299 and the Mobile Dock is 99 bucks. There are links in the description for more information, along with an exclusive $20 off the anniversary collection. And don't forget, if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and let me know in the comments where you'd actually use a setup like this. I'm really curious. Big thanks to VITURE for sponsoring. I'm Dan with Digital Trends, and thanks for all of you for watching. We'll see you next time.